First of all, thank you very much to Katerina for her presentation. Now we have Debora Rossi. Let me tell you about her. She holds a BA in law. She's a member of the Venice Bar, and she has worked in the Venice Biennale since 1996, where she was first the director of the legal office, and since 2009 she has several responsibilities: DG for Human Resources, Legal Affairs, CEO, Deputy CEO, and director of the Historical Archive. She is the executive manager for reorganizing the collections of the Research Center on Contemporary Arts, which is now being developed, and that foresees the transfer of the archive to a new headquarters in Venice. Debora Rose has been a lecturer at the Roman Law Cathedra, and she is the author of several specialized articles on public contracts. We're very pleased to have her here. When we thought about the structure of the International Symposium, those debating about the structure of the contents thought that an institution like the Venice Biennale had to be invited and present their historical archive, even more so considering that it's the oldest exhibition that takes place in Europe and in the world. Welcome, and the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, and first of all, thank you for the invitation, and so thank you for the perfect organization. I'll try to guide you on a sort of virtual tour in the Biennale archive through its collections and activities, supported by some relevant images that will be on the screen while I give my presentation. The archive is a department of la Biennale di Venezia, which is a cultural international institution that operates in the field of arts, and its mission is to promote research on contemporary art, also organizing exhibition and festival. And the first art exhibition took place in 1895, and then was followed by the International Music Festival. In 1932 took place the first International Cinema Festival, then followed the International Theatre Festival. In the 80s took place the architecture, started the architecture exhibition, and the dance department is the last one that was formally established in 1998. And then there is the archive. The archive is the seventh department, the seventh muse, we say, of La Biennale. And the need for an archive of the exhibition of the activities of Biennale emerged since the very first edition of the art exhibition. And the idea was of the sculptor Antonio Maraini, who was at that time Secretary General of the institution. So in November 1928 was inaugurated the Historical Archive of Contemporary Art, with the purpose to collect documents representing the artists that were invited to participate, but also who asked to participate to the exhibitions. And the result was a mix of papers, books, photos, art crafts. Can we say it a sort of Wunderkammer in a Vivarbo style? And okay. Nowadays, the venues of the archive are in the Biennale of Venice at the Science and Technological Park in Marghera, which is a business district that offers spaces and buildings able to house the materials with appropriate conservation standards. while the library itself is located in the central pavilion at the Giardini in the middle of the art and architecture exhibitions. Let me briefly describe the archive's holdings and collection, because the archive consists of a central part, its very heart, the historic holdings, including all documents tracing our institution's life, and different collections. In particular, the historic holdings includes thousands of documents collected in more than 10,000 dossiers, divided between the so-called historic fund itself and the storage fund. The historic fund has been reorganized and inventoried in accordance with a project defined and implemented in collaboration with the Soprintendenza to the Archives in Venice in the last 10 years. And a database, which is called ASAC Dati, has been created to catalog current and past activities and guide all users in their research. The collections that completes the very heart. The first is these are some images from the contents of the folders. As you can see, each folder contains very different type of documents, and we decided not to alter the way that the documents were collected. We only reorganized and cataloged them. Going back to the collection. The poster collections consist of all the posters of the different Biennale activities, that are most 4,000 items that have been reorganized and cataloged together with more than 10,000 additional conservation copies, and another 20,000 doubles. These are the data, and yes, this is the part of the archive devoted to the poster collection. And then another part is the photo library. These are the documents for the posters. And this is the photo library that includes plates, films, negatives, slides, and prints. There are more than 30,000 plates forming part of the collection that were cleaned and restored and listed by activity, referring to the different departments, and 40,000 negatives, all placed in non-acid paper holders, and finally more than 800,000 prints. 70% of them have been digitalized. These are the plates. Yes, you see, and this are the prints, part of the prints, the most ancient. Okay, and then we have the media library that contains the film screened at the film festival, as well as other films collected by the curators of the archive in the past. And the library also contains audio and video recordings of the Biennale performances and activities. And then we have the Art Fund, that consists of a collection of 850 artist videos, including the art tapes collection acquired by the Biennale in the 80s, plus 3,700 works that are paintings, sketches, drawings, prints. We were left for the Biennale by artists invited to the exhibition, especially in the early editions. The most significant works are on display at Giustiniano, which is the venue, the institutional venue of the offices of the Biennale. And last, the collection of documents and press castings. This collection are enriched by the so-called raccolta documentaria, made up of press cuttings, periodicals, and press reviews from the origin to date, and starting from 2009 are all available in digital format. And this is the... And last, this is the venue of the library, that is located in the Central Pavilion dei Giardini, and the library includes a specialized collection on contemporary arts, and in particular on the disciplines explored by Biennale: visual art, architecture, cinema, dance, music, and theater. And 80% of it consists of architectures and art catalogs. We have nowadays more than 180,000 volumes. And since 2009, with the so-called bibliography of the exhibition of Book Pavilion project, artists and architects participating in the exhibition are invited to donate publication documenting their artistic activity, and in particular the specific participation to exhibitions. I would like to stress that the archive is not only for us a place where documents are collected and preserved, but with its unique context, it has to become a platform to create and develop new activities. Among these, we can mention workshops, colleges, with the program Writing in Residence, tutors train young graduates in writing on specific topics related to the archive for each sector of Biennale di Venezia, and exhibition. Our artistic director, each department has an artistic director appointed by the board to develop the artistic projects, and as a specific part of their task has to create specific exhibitions resorting to our cast material. Usually they are on display in Ca' Giustinian, the headquarters of the institution. So the artistic director come to the archive and use the collection and the holdings not only for their own exhibition project, but also for specific artistic and exhibition. And in 2020, we have to postpone the International Architecture Exhibition for the COVID, but we decided to have a specific exhibition in the Central Pavilion dei Giardini. And was a special exhibition organized that it was called the Museum Created, the Disquieted Muses, when la Biennale di Venezia meets history, curated for the first time together by the artistic director of the six departments: art, architecture, cinema, dance, music, and theater. These are some images of the exhibitions. And the exhibition takes us on a journey through the archive of La Biennale, focusing on key moments where the war, generational conflicts, and profound cultural transformation of the 20th century reshaped the boundaries of the institution. The exhibition title is a reference to the Muses, the daughters of Zeus and Mnemosyne, who embodied the various artistic disciplines and serve here as a metaphor for the Biennale's department. And as the daughters of memory, the Muses look back to the past, but also imagine new worlds and new possibilities through the power of this artistic creation. The Muses are disguided because they are grappling with the world outside the confine of art. The exhibition showcases historical documents, archive materials, photographs, rare documentary film, and artworks from the archive, the ASAC, from the Biennale archives, and also other prestigious Italian collections and institutions, casting light on La Biennale di Venezia past and the way it has intersected with global events, illustrating and generating institutional ruptures, political and ethical crises, and also create new idioms. This is the part devoted, for instance, to the 68. That was a specific moment, and the the Biennale was the witness, but also promotes the changement and the discussion among arts. These are the murales devoted to the Chile in the Biennale of 1974, for instance. And these are part of the collection of the archive. And the museum created the first exhibition history, as I said, of La Biennale to be conceived at the intersection of the six disciplines that are its main sphere of experimentation, bringing episodes in its past into dialogue with the event of the 20th century. And to Vicente, it's these are some more images about the Chile, and these are the performances that took place in the early 70s among the visual art department and the music dance departments, and so on. These are the part devoted to the 70s, to this, the art and architecture exhibition, and so with the publications that in the 70s the archive produced it, documenting all the activities of the institution. This is images of La Strada Novissima, the first architecture exhibition that took place in 1980. And so on. This is part of a video from a film from the Biennale of the so-called Dissenso in 1970. So you go back some more photos. The Biennale archive is a place when the exhibition, and when the exhibition festival are over, the research continues and opens out to the world. We think about a place where technology is consolidated over time and it becomes permanent and extend beyond the limited time frame of the exhibition. But to conclude this sort of virtual visit, I would like to show the image of the reading room of the venues in Porto Marghera in the mainland. They are also always crowded with students assisted by our staff. We host more than 1,000 researchers a year, plus those who consult our casa remotely with a specific request sent to our operators. And our new goal is creating an international research center on contemporary arts to expand the activity of the historic archives of contemporary arts, involving institutions, museums, university, artists, and students 375 days a year. The main objective is share information on cultural issues with our international educational institution, as well as launching new research projects starting from the archive. And as a first step of this project, in the past 12 months, the archive hosted 110 young students coming from University, Ca' Foscari University, and UAV in Venice, La Sapienza University in Rome, Ulm in Milan, Accademia di Belle Arti in Conservatorio in Venice, in order to collect data and CVs of all the artists that have taken part in the exhibition and festival in the last 20 years, so as to draw a geopolitical map of art in the last year. A map which gives a representation of social, political, cultural dimension of the places artists come from, in order to create a sort of database that can help new and deeply research on the artist. You can see, these are the map of the new venue of the archive, and that represents the idea of the activities. There is the last part that is devoted to the holdings, to the preservation, but all the first part that are more than 3,000 square meters are devoted to research, to public programs, to exhibition, workshop, because we think that the archive must be the place where not only where documents and holdings are preserved, but a place where we have to do things, promote activities, and involve artists and young students and researchers. I hope that